Now, truck drivers, farmers and dock workers have blockaded a major highway into the French port city of Calais in protest at the camp, which of course is known as the jungle there. Now, many saying they sympathise with the migrants there, but the situation is getting worse and worse and more violent, and that action now needs to be taken. Well, Clement Goff, Pauline Jubiji and Emerald Maxwell have this report for us.
They've been trying to clear the jungle for a year. Yet there are more migrants now than ever. Why the failure? We went to find out. This is an aerial view of the camp a year ago. Since then, the southern zone has been dismantled. 2/3 of the jungle wiped from the map. But it didn't help. Instead, all the migrants are now crowded at the northern end, and there are twice as many as before. The line for the one daily meal is getting longer every day.
We started this in January 2015, handing out 350 meals per day. Well, on Sunday, 4,365 people came to eat here. Now, this is the first time we've ever been faced with such an influx.
An unprecedented 10,000 people now live in the jungle.
Tous les jours, il y a 100 à 150 personnes qui arrivent dans le camp, bien sûr. Bah oui. Il y en a qui arrivent de Libye, d'Italie, et puis il y en a qui arrivent de Paris, parce qu'ils ont été chassés de Paris.
There are those who sought asylum in France and are waiting here because the reception centres are overwhelmed. But there's a much larger group who have just one goal, to reach the UK.
Vous, ça fait combien de temps que vous vivez ici? Un an. Depuis un an. Un an? Depuis un an, oui. Et pourquoi vous restez à Calais? Pourquoi vous restez vivre dans cette jungle? Oui, j'ai une chance. Toujours, j'ai fait mon chance Angleterre, mais je n'ai pas trouvé. Toujours arrêté des polices de français avec un chien. Voilà, ça, tous les soirs, vous essayez d'aller en Angleterre? Oui, tous les soirs, tous les matins. Toujours, je cherche, mais il n'y a pas trouvé encore.
And the ever higher barriers don't deter. Just after 11 o'clock the night before, we spot silhouettes hanging onto both sides of the truck in front. The lorry is going at nearly 90 kilometers an hour. The migrants tried to close the door, unsuccessfully, and the truck stops. The first stowaways jump out. In all, there are more than 40. For the driver, it's the second time in 2 weeks this has happened.
En fait, ils ont coupé dans la bâche et ils sont entrés à l'intérieur.
One day, no boat,
By morning, the migrants are back at the jungle. Meanwhile, local residents are discovering the extent of last night's damage.
They cut down 37 cypress trees. They take them and throw them on the highway to block the trucks, so that the trucks have to stop, and then the smugglers help the migrants up into the trucks. And it's day after day. This here has been going on for 3 months now. We're really bothered by this. Well, about a month ago, us neighbors, we finally lost it. We went out with our pickaxes, and we wanted to take the law into our own hands.
At nightfall, local residents patrol the streets. Flashlight in hand, they're looking for migrants. And when the police van arrives, it's not to deter the patrols.
Ce serait bien de prévenir si vous pouvez, mais bon, faut se poster. Vous avez des talkie-walkie ou des moyens de communication comme ça?
For lorry drivers, locals and migrants alike, Calais looks more than ever like a stalemate.
Special report there on the jungle camp in Calais for today's focus. Let's bring you some sport on the programme. Starts off, in fact, with the latest World Cup qualifiers.
European champions Portugal begin their World Cup qualifying campaign without Cristiano Ronaldo in Switzerland. Later today, the hosts reached the last 16 at Euro 2016 before losing to Poland on penalties. Swiss coach Vladimir Petkovic is hoping his side can break down a solid Portuguese backline in Basel.
Portugal,
Congratulations to Portugal, first of all.
gemeisterd in Europa.
They won the Euro.
Auch ohne Scheiter gehabt, aber dann
difficulty at the start, but they then showed that they are a team, and they showed that being a team is the most effective way of getting results. And we all saw that they are a compact team. Midfielders Renato Sanchez and Andre Gomez are also missing for Portugal, while Stoke winger Jed and Shaqiri are a glaring absentee for a solid Switzerland outfit. The Swiss team is a squad full of great quality, two very strong central defenders. A few minutes ago I listened to the problems that they have in defence. However, I think it's worth remembering that during the Euros, Switzerland conceded just 2 goals, and you can never say that a team that conceded just 2 goals has problems in defence. This is the first time that the teams have met since a 2-0 Swiss victory at Euro 2008, with that match also being played at St. Jakob Park. Gareth Bale scored twice as Wales thrashed Group D opponents Moldova 4-0 in Cardiff in their opening 2018 World Cup qualifier on Monday. Daryl Murphy's first international goal rescued a point for the Republic of Ireland in Belgrade. In Group G, Diego Costa, Alvaro Morata and David Silva all scored twice as Spain hammered Liechtenstein, while Italy survived the second half dismissal of Giorgio Chiellini to beat Israel. Former Norway midfielder Valon Berisha scored Kosovo's first competitive goal to earn a 1-1 draw in Finland. Andy Murray is into the men's US Open quarterfinals after a
Continue across the city. We've heard from the Interior Ministry saying one person has been killed in an ongoing attack on the Kabul charity.
Presidential election has begun. We'll have the latest for you from Washington. And it's a multi-million euro start to François Hollande's visit to Vietnam, the French president focusing on trade for his 2-day trip. It is 7 a.m. here in Paris. It's 9:30 a.m. in Kabul, Afghanistan. Also coming up for you across the next hour. In our focus report, we're finding out more about how big the Calais migrant camp Jungle has become. This after a major protest against the site caused chaos in northern France on Monday. We're also telling you the story of the lost and found space robot with the latest update on the Philae lander. This is live from Paris.
The French colonial-style buildings and boulevards. The Vietnamese authorities are preserving this architectural heritage. Times have changed, and now French is rarely heard on the streets.
I think English is more common in our country, not French.
And English is a compulsory subject in every school.
English is international language, so we teach English to make communication with other people easily.
So France is looking.
Now, Donald Trump, Dutch nationalist Geert Wilders and other politicians are, quote, demagogues and political fantasists, according to the United Nations Human Rights Chief. Zeid Ra'ad al-Hussein made the comments at the inauguration of the Peace, Justice and Security Foundation in The Hague. France's Marine Le Pen, Britain's Nigel Farage and Hungary's Viktor Orban also came in for criticism. Zaid saying that populists had similar ideologies to those of the Islamic State group.
I certainly do not. History has perhaps taught Mr. Wilders and his ilk how effectively xenophobia and bigotry can be weaponized. Communities will barricade themselves into fearful, hostile camps with populists like them and the extremists as the commandants. The atmosphere will become thick with hate. At this point, it can descend rapidly into colossal violence. We must pull back from this trajectory.
Well, the comments haven't gone down very well with their targets. Geert Wilders responding via the AFP news agency that the Jordanian prince was, in his words, an utter fool. Now, it might feel like the build-up has been happening forever, but this week, what's seen as the final stretch of campaigning towards the American presidential election is getting underway. The poll itself will take place on November the 8th. On Monday, both the Democratic and Republican Party candidates took the fight to the key swing state of Ohio. With more from Washington, D.C., here's our correspondent, Philip Crowther.
With the Labor Day weekend now over, we have truly arrived in the final stretch of this presidential campaign of 2016. And there are quite a few changes going forward. For example, Hillary Clinton showed off her new campaign plane yesterday. It has her slogan, Stronger Together, emblazoned on it. And it took her yesterday to Cleveland in the crucial swing state of Ohio. And on the tarmac in that same city was the other plane, that belonging to Republican nominee Donald Trump. They both coincided in the same city, looking for maybe more or less the same voters. Ohio. Hillary Clinton hasn't been seen on the campaign trail for quite a few days. The reason given by her campaign is that she has been preparing diligently for the first presidential debate that will be happening at the end of this month. Donald Trump, though, the Republican nominee, also says that he has been preparing for that all-important first debate between the two nominees.
Now, the president of the Philippines is rowing back from an insult he made to Barack Obama. That's when he called him the son of a whore. Staff had cancelled a meeting with his Filipino counterpart after that televised insult made at a news conference. Well, the Philippines are a former US colony and have traditionally been a close ally of Washington's. Take a listen to what President Duterte said.
I am a president of a sovereign state, and we have long ceased to be a colony. I do not have any master except the Filipino people. Nobody but nobody. You must be respectful. Do not just throw away questions and statements. Putang ina, mumurahin kita dyan sa forum na yan.
I just heard about some of this, but I have seen some of those colorful statements in the past. And so clearly he's a colorful guy.
Well, President Duterte has since expressed regret for the comment. His relationship with the Obama administration has become ever more tense since he took office in June, including disputes over human rights abuses and the Philippines' close ties with China. And moving on to Gabon, where the Justice Minister has resigned, this in protest at the government's refusal to recount controversial ballots from the recent election. At least 6 people are believed to have died in violent protests that followed the announcement that the president had been re-elected. Seraphine Mundunga said President Ali Bongo Ondimba should hold a recount to avoid the useless suffering of the people. A media blackout has been imposed in Gabon as authorities try to calm tensions. That's left many people, though, unable to contact loved ones with whom they lost contact in the post-electoral violence. Nicolas Germain tells us more.